Do we have to hit continue or?
So good morning to friends in the US. For friends who are joining from India, good evening. Welcome to the fourth session of High Life that we are doing in October and November. This is, I guess, the first time we are doing outside our typical series where I don't actually show the entire slide set and we don't do a rigorous lecture type format. Instead, we've sort of opened it up for more of a discussion so that we can explore a little deeper into what self-inquiry is all about and what this promise of better health really is about. So I'm glad you're joining us, and I'm actually glad that we recorded the entire series in June and July. So that's what I want to remind people who are joining us for the first time, that the actual Heartful Living sessions completed in June and July. Mondays, we did that for about 7 sessions, and those recordings are all available for anyone at High Life Journey. So I once again invite you to go through those if you did not actually participate in the series. January of 2021 and February of 2021, we're going to again do the full formal series. So this one in October and November is not the actual, it is just, I would say, informal but more in-depth recognition of the process of self-inquiry. I'm going to request you to mute your mics. I'm muting it for everybody, but I hope you are able to still hear me. And so that's what it is. We'll go ahead and get started. Last week, we talked about experimenting outside our comfort zone, stepping outside what we typically view as our framework of comfort or zone of ease. So the discussion was, if we step outside, are we going to be stressed about it and end up with more trouble? The reality is we are challenged every day by novel problems and issues, and also those who have a reasonably stable life still to feel that we are learning and growing. Our comfort with stepping outside that comfort zone itself becomes important. So that's what I want to reiterate today. And we have talked about a few of our friends, our participants, who are going to share their stories. So anybody who wishes to tell us what their life challenge that they did not anticipate was, and how they found ways to learn and experience uh, so that they can overcome their challenges in their life. So anybody is willing to share their story is most welcome to introduce themselves, tell us what their challenge was, and how they found the strength to cope with it. Nobody wants to go yet? So I have a small slide set. We can go through that and then come back to this question. Hopefully you can see the slides now. Yes? Do you see it, Anuradha? The full screen? Excellent. So this is where we are. We've been through three sessions. We first discussed individual patient successes and challenges. Then we talked about finding flow in everyday activities. The last week we discussed experiencing life outside the box. And today's session is actually designed to be in such a way that those who already experienced heartful living, whether they are able to continue the program, whether they are finding it too hard, and if it works, how it works. So really, I want this to be a discussion of your journey. So the disclosure for this whole thing is this website we have, which is aims really at giving the material to people to try and improve their health on their own terms without having to wait for a physician or a provider to give them the confidence. So today's discussion again is challenges and successes outside the box. So if you look at where we are, the outer ring is where I think we assume that we are comfortable with, our comfort zone. Whatever we do in the morning, as far as activity, and through the day, as far as work and relationships, everything that we do physical activity wise, everything that we are today will be in the blue. But then if we do some more self-inquiry, we might be able to first and foremost understand the limitations and try to push the body a little further. We all have certain things that we are capable of confidently doing, but can we explore a little further? This exploration becomes important, one, to gain fitness if you are a teenager and do better in sports. But as we grow beyond our middle age, say from the age of 40 onwards, to stay fit, to not lose muscle, and to remain as agile and to delay the aging process, pushing the body a little further safely and systematically becomes so crucial. So that again requires you to move outside that comfort zone. That's why I have it there. And then comes the logical mind. Some of the limitations are at the level of the body, but again, we all have our own, I would say, understanding, learning, education, whatever that has gone into our subconscious, that also plays with the logical mind. And ultimately, the mind ends up becoming more of a limitation than the body. So once you try to start pushing your body, the invitation next is to recognize that the mind is placing these limitations on us and try to push those as well. You'll be surprised that you're able to do a little better, maybe a lot better than what you thought you could. And that again requires you to once again go and systematically try with your limitations. Then finally comes our instinct and faith and beliefs. And this is what allows us to do certain things that we do not expect to be within our capacity. Say, for instance, there are pilgrimages that people take. People in India go to the Himalayas and they climb several thousand feet in the harsh, cold weather, and they do so much. And before that and after that, when they are back home in the comfort, they are not able to even imagine how they are able to accomplish that once in a lifetime journey. So that sort of thing is possible because our body and our mind are still, I would say, not as powerful as that belief or subconscious or instinct that allows us to pursue our most inner dreams. So that is all possible. And all this we all recognize intuitively. And we may not be challenging ourselves to that level on most of the 364 days of the year, but there is still, I'm sure, 1 or 2 days in the year that we are pushed to that type of a limit. So I think I should stop here so that I'm not sure how many people have joined us today, but anybody who wants to talk about their explorations and adventures with fasting up to 12 hours, 14 hours, 20 hours, 3 days, 7 days, 9 days, anybody is welcome. Fasting is something that we feel is a key aspect of improving cardiac health. Anybody wants to go for fasting? Yes?
Yes, sir. I want to
Please
talk few
introduce
words.
yourself and tell us a little bit about who you are so that the people will understand where you come
Okay.
from and what your challenges were and where you are now with that.
I am Dr. Anuradha from Chennai. First, let me tell how I came to know about High Life Journey. I came to know about Sir's session through Dr. Smrita. It is Anand Sir's wife and my good friend. Through her only, I came to know about Sir's session. So I thank her for introducing Sir, because after meeting you and I never miss your session. From the beginning, I used to attend all your session, because each and every session I used to learn a new point, and I'm applying in my life also. First, initially, so I heard fasting. I know about fasting, but different types of fasting I learned only after your session. Only attend your session. Initially, for so many years, I was thinking about fasting, but never tried. And one more thing, I used to think breakfast is the brain food, so I should not skip that brain food. And I used to think. So after attending your session, I got the clarity. So now I started eating my dinner little early and breakfast little late. So I'm trying only 12 to 13 hours, not 14 hours which you used to tell. So I'm trying that. Initially, I find difficult, because morning I like to have coffee in the morning, but I felt little difficult to skip that. But now I'm used to it. And morning, previously I used to have a good tiffin like thing, but nowadays I'm taking only fruits and nuts by 9:30 or 10 o'clock. After that is 13 hours fasting, I used to take only fruits and nuts. And afternoon also, I used to take little amount of rice with more of vegetables. So I have cut down my sugar in in my evening coffee or tea, and I avoided. I skipped many of my sweets and all. And usually I used to do yoga for 2 days in a week. Now I have increased to 5 days. And one more thing I want to tell is out of box, which I tried last week, is I want to have a walk in the early morning. Early morning, I thought of walking in the early morning, go for a walk for in the morning at 5 o'clock. So after so many years, that day I got up and went for a walk. Really, I enjoyed. It was a nice thing, little cool, and I was able to see the sunrise and bird sound. Really, I enjoyed. Which it was different experience for me. And after your session, I'm trying new things, and which I'm really enjoying, and I'm sharing with my friends. And now many of my colleagues also following your fasting high life journey, our thing. And many of them they are showed a nice result. Example, my friend Pravda, she is a dentist. I don't know whether she is here or not. She from our webinar which we conducted, from that she started her intermittent fasting, and she showed drastic weight loss and improvement in her health. By seeing her, many of our colleagues asked her, and what is the reason for it, what is the secret, how you lost this much weight, and you're looking healthy, energetic and young, what are the reason, they have asked. I told credit goes to Anand sir. Okay, after attending his session only, we came to know about intermittent fasting, and I started, but she is full blown. She's doing. She's taking only one meal per day, and she is following and shown good result. So this is what I want to share to all. Really, it works. Whatever sir is telling, really practically, whatever he is following, he is telling to us, sharing with us, and 100% it is working. And I was very surprised to know this type of that is intermittent fasting, and the methods which sir is telling, it works at cellular level, and it's not for short term, it is for long term. It works for long term, and really it is benefit for all of us, and any age group can follow it. And it will reduce our intake of drugs. So I'll tell 100% sir's methods are practically it is working, and definitely you can follow it. And it's an example is me and my friends. Okay, thank you, sir.
Excellent. Thanks so much for those kind words, Anuradha. See, when I say people want to listen, but when people have followed it and they come back to our program and tell us it works for them, the meaning for that is 10 times more. So I'm so glad it's helping you and your friends. And it's so important that you're all doctors. And for 45 years of my life, I've not fasted. I had 3 meals every day for first 45 years of my life, and I was still very healthy. But after starting this, I'm finding I have more time, more energy to go out and explore new things. Just like you, I also went out. I'm going to show at the end of today's discussion a few pictures I got Saturday morning here. It was such a beautiful morning. So, how we perceive reality itself gets better once you do the self inquiry. So, all these are various aspects of a deeper self understanding. So nice. I don't think I can put it in any better words than you, Anuradha. Thanks so much for being part of our journey. So the question was fasting, and Dr. Anuradha does about 12 to 13 hours and feels also, if you notice when she said she's having fruits and nuts for breakfast, that's what I'm also finding is sufficient for me. Earlier I thought I needed more carbs in the form of breakfast cereal or bread or whatever, but now I'm finding just the fruits and the nuts give me sufficient energy through the day all the way until lunch, and that way I'm getting the most important micronutrients first thing in the morning. When I say first thing, I may have it at 8. On a weekend, I may have it at 10. But depending on how that, usually I end up getting about 12 to 14 hours between dinner and breakfast also. So very similar to what Anuradha does, I do, which is about 12 to 14 hours most days. And one day in a week, I try to go to 24 hours, which means on a Tuesday evening, if I have dinner at 6 p.m. and brush my teeth, the only reason I'll again open for food will be at about 6 p.m. on Wednesday. So there is really no food going in. When there is no food going in, it's just water. Tap water is all that we need, and we can go on for 24 hours. But that's not straight away easy for many people, especially people who have insulin requiring diabetes and certain other diabetic medications or eating disorders. For them, we don't recommend this type of more than 14 hours fast, but still 99.5% of the world can benefit from going, I would say, all the way to 24 or even 36 hours once a week. Beyond that, people going to 3 days, 9 days, religious fasting. Just now, there was puja holidays in India where several of my friends and family have done several day fasting, 7 day, 9 day fasting. I've invited them to come and talk. Last week, Siddharth and Vanita talked about it. And today I've invited another good friend of mine in California who did 9 days of fasting. He's been doing it for 10 years to come and talk. I don't know if he's going to make it today, but it's all possible and it's reasonably safe if you do it right. But for heart health and for reducing our risk for dementia and cancer and other things down the road, once a week, if we can go to 24 hours and sustain it through the year, the benefit may be, we may be striking a sweet spot and getting maximal benefit to maintain good health. Today, we've invited some of my patients here and in India who want to lose a lot of weight. For them, they can even try 24-hour fasting 2 times a week. I have patients who do it 3, 4 times a week. So basically, they eat on alternate days and they still find that that gives them sufficient energy and confidence throughout the week to stay active and do some exercise. But still, altogether, if you look at the end of the month, they've gotten only 40 or even 30% of the calories they got before they started fasting. So all this is available through self-inquiry, and you're doing it on your own. That's the real challenge here, because otherwise this level of fasting is not possible. If you just stop eating, you're not going to feel healthy unless you do it as part of self-inquiry with gratitude, with the smile, and with plenty of water intake. It becomes challenging to first of all sustain it, and secondly to stay healthy and gain confidence, which is also part of this program. Excellent. Thanks again. So fasting was the first thing. Unless anybody wants to talk about fasting, we'll keep moving on. Anybody wants to talk about big challenges in life? Losing people that really, really matter to us. Person's age may be 110, but still they played a big role in our lives. The person's age may be 1 year old, but we've all had to cope with the losing dear ones in our lives. So if anybody wants to say, this is what I did, which I did not think made sense, but later on it made sense and gave me the confidence to overcome my grief. Anybody wants to go for that? This is pretty informal. You can introduce yourself and talk. If you don't have anything, anybody doesn't want to talk about this, we can just keep moving on. In this COVID world, we are coming across more and more people in our own personal spheres that have lost dear ones. You want to go? I see a hand up. You'll have to unmute yourself. Yes, you'll have to unmute yourself and talk. I can try to unmute you, but I don't know.
There.
Yeah, now we can hear you. You'll have to introduce yourself, tell us where you are from, and you're most welcome to share your experience.
I am Loretta Fox, and
Can you go a little louder?
I'm Loretta Fox, originally from Colorado, and I now live in Camdenton, Missouri. I am not overcoming it yet. I'm still working with the loss, but I did want to share that. Maybe if that comes up again, I'll be at a better place to talk a little more about it.
Yes, sir.
Doctor, I'm Willie Fox and I'm her husband. You and I met about a week ago for the first time. And can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Again, you and I met about a week ago. It was the first time I was in your office, and there was something about you that gave me confidence on day one when I was speaking to you. And after I left your office, the very first thing I wanted to do was get in the house and watch the first video. So I had a chance over the weekend to watch the video, the June video, which was pretty comprehensive. I mean, it went through there's a lot of information. And one of the things you talked about was fasting. And from 7 o'clock in the evening till 9 o'clock in the morning, honestly, I didn't have a problem with that, but it was so different because I'm so used to having a snack before bed or having something before bed. And so I started on Friday, this past Friday. And so we've been doing pretty good up till now. This thing I made the mistake in, my wife was boiling eggs, and before 9 o'clock, she offered me an egg, and I took the boiled egg, and I don't know if that's worse than eating fruits and nuts, but that's just one of the things that I found myself outside, going outside of the plan. I had the boiled egg, and I started drinking orange juice instead of coffee, and I don't know which one is better or worse, but I didn't drink a lot of coffee to begin with, but I think because I like orange juice better, it's after 9 o'clock, should be okay. And like I said, after watching the June video, you talked about a lot of different things. I don't want to go over everything because I think it would take up too much time. But I just wanted to share with everybody that from the time that I saw you till now, I know that I've lost weight without question. And I really haven't changed what I've eaten. I've changed how I'm eating. And I think as a result of how I'm eating is the result of the weight loss. And I just wanted to share that. And I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take you backwards, but that's all I wanted to say.
No, you're taking us forwards. Once we get you feeling healthier, that's going to be useful for so many other people to find health. So I'm so glad you were able to join us today. And within 3 days of trying to fast, only last Friday you started fasting, you already feel more confident. My suggestions to you are, don't expect the weighing scale to work in your direction all the time, because after a few weeks you will come to a ceiling where you cannot lose further weight, things like that. But slowly, again and again, find things that are meaningful find foods that are exciting for you, you enjoy it, and hopefully it should be more and more healthy options. As you keep doing that, and you gradually in the next 1 to 2 months recognize how to be grateful for being hungry. That is what we are going to focus on next Monday. Hunger gratitude experience. I think that's what the topic was for next Monday. Let me see. Yes, hunger is freedom. That's what we're going to talk about next Monday. So gradually you can start working towards finding that comfort by being hungry. Everybody does not need that on a very, what should I say, long-term basis. See, for instance, my BMI is where I want it, about 23. And my waist circumference is where I want it, about 32. So I don't have to be hungry for any prolonged time. So once a week, if I don't put food in my body and I stay hungry and I cope with it, the other 6 days I can have reasonably good food. But even then, 1 or 2 hours, I try to be hungry before putting food in the body. So this is what I do to stay healthy. But for you, because of your, I would say, I met you only last week. I know your wife as my patient for a while, but I recognize that amount of strength you have and trust. So I believe you will learn the type of hunger that we teach. So once you recognize that hunger and become comfortable with it and be able to connect with gratitude with that hunger itself, then we are talking about the next 1 to 2 years where any excess weight that you want to lose will be natural for you to do it. You'll be more active, you'll be losing weight, but still feeling that much more confident through the day. It's not like wait until this weight is lost, then you'll feel happy. No. As you connect with this the right way, the life starts right now and in a much more, I would say, vivid way. And you'll feel that the whole thing works for you. And naturally, intuitively, effortlessly, this weight loss will continue for as long as you want it to, while you stay healthy. So that is the real promise. And that is not based on 1 or 2 patients. It's based on several hundred patients who already been through this very similar situation like you, who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s with heart problems, with other issues like kidney, liver. And despite that, and despite having one leg or a stroke or whatever issues, they've also been able to gain so much more health, give up 7 or 8 out of their 10 medicines and do better. So that's what we're hoping will work for you. So glad you have joined us today, sir.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
So we talked about fasting, then we talked about losing people dear to us. Anybody wants to try going after exploring their physical limits, exercising, sports, pushing the body, trying to do things that they thought they could not or didn't imagine their body can withstand, and now they are able to cope with it. The reason I put these questions is there are so many people who've done this in the last few years. And this series, I don't know how many are able to join today, but if anybody wants to say how by pushing your body, getting sore, getting tired, you actually felt more energy, or I would say more alive. Whatever you want to share, you're most welcome to. Anybody? You'll have to unmute yourself if you want to talk. People who've not spoken so far. I think Cody should go for this one.
Yeah, I was gonna chime in on this.
But if you want to wait for a minute, Cody, let's see if anybody else wants to go in.
Oh, okay.
Because Cody
Yeah.
can go for the 1 hour now. He has so much to tell us. Anybody wants to talk?
Yeah, Loretta.
Hi. I had surgery about last October, and during that time, I was pretty weak and unstable, and losing my balance. As you see, the silver sneakers up there. I joined that program through Zoom, and there was a lot of the yoga that I couldn't do, but I did discover. It's called Energy, and I started that, and it's really relaxing. I can do a lot of the moves without a lot of stress to different parts of my body, and I just kept pushing through it, and I was doing the class first once a week, and then she had it for twice a week, so I started doing twice a week, and then some videos on demand, like over the weekend. So it's really helped me with my balance and stability. And it wasn't always fun. It wasn't pretty, but but it helped.
But you're happy that you did it.
Oh yeah. And I still continue to do it.
So now it is part of your comfort zone because you took the time and the effort and you went after it. So now you made it something part of who you are right now. That's amazing. And my invitation is to keep on working with it and explore more stuff that you can do. About half an hour, when we say activity, for all
Yeah.
adults to stay healthy, we need a minimum of 30 minutes. Most days of the week, 150 minutes altogether in a week, where we are working at a moderate or even more than moderate in a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the most, I cannot barely breathe. We have to go at least to a 6, 7, or maybe even 8, and do it for about 150 minutes in a week. It can be sports, it can be just walking, biking. For people with a lot of health issues and arthritis, just walking inside a swimming pool may be the only way they can get that much minutes of exercise. So whatever works given our circumstance. And I have amputees who don't have a leg, who take an arm bicycle, put it on their dining table, and they exercise with their arm pedal. That or upper extremity weight training, whatever works for about 30 minutes on most days of the week, where we are exerting ourselves to about moderate or even more than moderate. About moderate would be 5, 6, 7, 8 is pushing towards really strenuous exercise. So that's where we are inviting people to do for the most part. Excellent. Yes, Cody, it's yours. Tell us who you are and tell us some more about why you exercise the way you do.
Hello, everyone. My name's Cody Murphy. I'm the home-based cardiac rehab coordinator for Truman VA here in Columbia, Missouri. Work with Dr. Chakalingam. I am 38 years old, so just kind of, I guess, kind of what Dr. Chakalingam was alluding to, something interesting that I was doing. I have a charity where we take disabled veterans out on different types of outdoor adventures, and I got the brilliant idea that I was going to raise some money for the charity by running an ultra marathon. It was a 50-kilometer, 31-mile trail race. And so for the past few months, I had been training for that, where averaging about 50 miles a week or so in trail miles, and just pushing myself in that manner to try and raise funds for my charity. Life. I have he's now 6 months old. Got a 6-month-old son, and my wife is a nurse here at Truman VA. And so I wound up having to withdraw from the race a couple of weeks before the actual start because of just life. I was averaging about 31 hours a week running. And so it just was not sustainable working full time and having a new baby and trying to run 31 miles or running for 31 hours in a week. But that since then I've kind of gone back to training what's called CrossFit. So now I'm training now between 5 and 7 days during the week, depending on how intense the days are. But I do that every morning at 5 a.m. And those typically I wear a heart rate monitor and track all my calories and stuff. And those have turned out to be some pretty challenging workouts where I wind up burning they're averaging about 930 to 960 calories in a morning, just pushing myself. Unfortunately, haven't found a way to leverage that into raising funds for my charity, but maybe that's on the horizon. But just want to share that with you guys.
So when we talked about getting 150 minutes, we are talking about 60, 120. So 2.5 hours of physical activity is what we are requesting everybody to do. Cody has done 30 hours, not 2 hours. He's done 15 times more. And running 1 mile on the trail, I'm sure is the equivalent of several miles on just a plain track, right? Would you say that's true, Cody?
Yes, sir. Most of those mileage, I have a watch that tracks elevation loss and gain, and usually some of the longer runs, like up to 22 miles, that have 9,000 feet of elevation gain and loss between running those hills. So that's I feel compared to road mileage. Compared to road mileage, it's I would say significantly more challenging. And plus, running on a single track trail, every single footstep you have to watch your placement, because it's not like on a road where you can zone out. One misstep and I mean I could fall down a huge hill or break my leg on a big rock that you're trying to clear or something like that. So it was overtaxing, is unhealthy level of training for sure. It is not something that I would recommend anyone do, because I got in physiologic trouble. I got in health trouble on more than one occasion. Once, pretty seriously, I wound up having a heat stroke because I ran out of water, and was still about 10 miles away from my truck, and it was 97 degrees that day, and I ran out of water and had 10 miles on trail to get back to the nearest water source, and I wound up getting in trouble.
So what Cody is saying is not for heart patients. It's not for healthy young people. It's for extreme athletes. So that's what he's exploring at that level. And I'm glad we have such a enthusiastic, motivated person who's leading our home-based cardiac rehab program for our veterans in Colombia. So this is an amazing venture that we've just started. And veterans are also joining this program whenever they are able to join, so that they can learn from various people how they can get more healthy. Thanks so much for sharing your adventures, Cody. Anybody else wants to pitch in with any story, anything, any questions, comments, discussions? You'll have to unmute yourself before we can hear you. Anything at all people want to discuss? This is a good time. Yes, sir.
Hi, doctor. This is Ashwini.
Hello, Ashwini. Why don't you introduce yourself and...
Yeah, hi. This is Ashwini. I'm calling from Virginia. I'm actually started gathering information regarding my father, who is 61 years old. And 2 years back, he started having the heart issues. He's a diabetic. So I started at that time when he was having EF percentage of 30%. One of the doctor told angiogram can't be done and everything. And there is at that point, there is one doctor suggested not to walk. But for his diabetics levels to be under control, my father needs to walk. And then in one of the videos, when I'm researching, I think it's in the radio show or something, you are mentioning the brisk walk will really help the patients for the heart condition to improve. And then I'm satisfied with myself knowing that answer. Like initially I was hesitant earlier, because my father was diabetic from 20 years. He used to walk initially, and later on, as the years progresses, he like neglected his diabetics, and then which created this issue. And then he'll be able to walk, but for me to force him to, whether it's a good thing or not, I was hesitant. So after listening to your video, I'm like comfortable in the comfortable stage radio show, I think. Then I started asking, please go ahead and walk. Then he's at the stage right now. If he walks, he'll do brisk walk. Not just I won't be able to walk with him. Now he is walking 40 minutes in the morning and 40 minutes in the evening, because of which his heart condition, like EF percentage, improved to 45, and then again it decreased to 33 right now. That is a different worrying factor for us. But other than that, as a person, he's very active. And like earlier 1.5 year back, he was very down and not talking much because he doesn't have energy. What I think is walking is giving him that energy, which he is right now very active and doing all his work. And when we talk to him as well, he's very energetic. Just I wanted to like again once ask your opinion. If the heart condition is, if the EF percentage is low, do we need to restrict this walk or avoid brisk walk, or is it okay in your right now he's doing the brisk walk? Even if I say no, he won't stop because he is feeling active and energetic, right? So is it okay for him to continue that? uh, can you share your thoughts on that?
Excellent. Is he here in this meeting with us or no?
He won't be able to understand English,
Okay, that
and
is fine. So you are going to be our translator. That's nice.
yes,
And
yes.
how did you hear about this program? Have you been in High Life before, or is today the first time you're actually
Today
joining
is the
Life?
first time I'm joining this program. See, 1.5 years back, the radio show like gave me an like uh, it was there in my mind. Like I was, and then again when I'm worrying about my father, I started recollecting your name and then googling again, and then I found your information. Then you shared this information of the this event, and which I'm fortunate to join and then hear the opinions from others. Thank you. And first and mostly, first of all, thank you very much for encouraging everyone and showing the path how they can be active and um, have confidence in themselves for the healthy life. Thank you
Excellent.
very much. It's so
So
nice of
most
you. And
welcome, Ashwini. This 2020 is a very special year in my life because first time I'm opening this program to families. Till now, we were saying at least the patient's wife or husband join us. But now we are actively inviting heart patients, children, and grandchildren, anybody above the age of 10 years to join us. Biggest reason for that is families are at more risk for heart trouble. And
okay.
if I can help a 75-year-old, I'm happy. But if I can prevent a heart attack in a 30-year-old child or a 10-year-old grandchild, I am so much more happy to get the message to the next generations. And the current generation is so fast, intuitive, and they can learn these simple things as their psyche develops, as their habits form. So by the time they're 15, 20 years old, all these things that we talk about with these slide sets, that will be natural for them. That is what I'm really hoping. So whatever you translate to your father, my hope is you will also try to imbibe into your way of life. The
Sure,
question about
definitely. What to add to your in like whatever you're saying, that is exactly true right now in the age group of even us, right? When we are thinking about, when you are hearing the incidents, even in my area, like 39 people getting the stroke and passing away all of a sudden, and these kind of incidents in US, or like in, as I can say, I have here so many incidents which makes us restless for so much of time and start worrying about whether am I having an issue. I saw people going and having checkups because of that reason. And all this definitely will healthy way of how, because people doesn't know the accurate information, what is the correct way, what is the correct way to do. Not knowing, if this information, these kind of things will be shared, like everyone will definitely get benefit and be happy and active, I guess. Thank you very much.
Most welcome, Ashwini. To answer the actual question that you asked, whether it is safe to exercise when the heart function is weak, we've been doing research here in Columbia, our university, for the last 10 to 15 years, specifically on this question. And the simple answer is looking at the world literature, looking at our own work, as we are pushing our body's limit. When Cody just now explained how he is running so many miles, there are so many changes the body is undergoing. As that physical exertion is happening, the heart is having to adapt. And electrolytes are shifting, sugar levels are shifting, stress hormone levels are shifting. So the direct answer is, when we are exercising, there is actually a small increase in the risk for a heart attack, for electrical irregularity, tachycardia, heart stopping. So that risk actually increases when we are exercising. Anybody doing any exercise that is more than modest level is increasing their risk for problems. But then why do I sit down here with you and tell you whenever you go and exercise? The reason is, if we don't exercise, we stand to lose, I would say, 100 or 1,000 times more in so many ways. Not only muscle, bone strength, confidence, agility, ability to get up and do stuff as we are growing older. Even for the heart itself, specifically, we have so much to gain by exercise. So I'm saying both things happen with exercise. At the time of the exercise, it's a small increase risk, but if you accumulate over a week, over a month, after 2 years down the road, if you see, your gain is, I would say, 100 times more. How much to exercise? The answer is yes, we all need exercise. Even if the ejection fraction is 30%, 20%, it is good to exercise. But do not expect that exercise to make your heart stronger or fix the problems. Some may get better, some may not improve. But if you do it prudently, especially if you do it through this self-inquiry process where you're getting a deeper mind-body connection, you will find that you know which is the safe limit for your body, and you can slowly work on it. For a healthy person, you can go to 6, 7, 8, 9, even 10 out of 10 level of exertion without putting that much risk. Whereas a person with a heart attack or heart failure or cardiomyopathy or low ejection fraction, going up to 4, maybe 5, and waiting at that level for several weeks, even few months, and gaining confidence at that level is so important before going to a 6, going up to a 7. If your father is able to go to a 5, that means he can comfortably talk while he is still exercising. That would be the safe level. If he can maintain it for 40 minutes without finding that he's really pushing his own personal limit, then that is okay. Especially now that you tell us he is gaining the real benefit, which is psychological confidence. As people grow older and have these diagnoses of heart problems, this problem, that problem, if they can still remain physically active and independent, that means the world to them. So we should not pull them back and restrain them. We want people to gain that confidence through their own activity. But again, we have to be a little more careful how much we push, and optimal medicines, whether they're taking. Sometimes we may attach them to a Holter monitor or ambulatory blood pressure monitor to ensure that they are not having any untoward complications with the exercise when the heart is weak. But exercise is helping your dad not only gain overall health, but including his heart health is helping. And psychologically, that benefit is even more important, that he continues to exercise at a safe level. I hope I answered your question, Ashwini.
Yeah, yes. Thank you very much.
Excellent. Anybody else before we conclude? So this we already discussed in the beginning. From our comfort zone, I'm inviting you to explore what your body can do safely. And then whatever you think logically you can do, even beyond that, you will find, if you go connect at a deeper level, that you are able to accomplish because of your subconscious belief and faith. But this is the last level where you connect at a deepest mind-body level, where you enter into high life, heartful living. We use those words. Vivekananda talks about living at the source. But what we find is so many of our cardiac patients gain health effortlessly. So find that effortlessness, then the journey will become infinitely prolonged. Otherwise, you will be doing it for your wife or for the doctor's sake or whatever. For a few weeks, few months, you can sustain fasting or some exercise or going to the gym. But if you find that it is exciting you, making you enjoy it, and then it will come into that zone of effortlessly continuing this journey. So if you look up a tiger which is chasing and making a hunt, there is no warm-up period, cool-down period. It just goes instinctively after the hunt. So same way, if you look at children, they don't have any pedometer that tells them you get this many steps. They are intuitively laughing, intuitively light, intuitively relaxed, and they are running all day long. That's why up to the age of 18, they say 300 minutes of exercise is needed. Unfortunately, society has moved so much into electronic and social media and smartphones that even children find it foreign for them to go and exercise, play, have fun. But that is how they are being designed, and that's how nature is. That children up to the age of 4 to 7 years naturally, intuitively connect at a deeper level and find that energy, and we wonder how they have the energy all day long. So what the promise is once you connect at this deeper level, no matter what our age, we will have more creativity than we thought we are capable of. Like Dr. Anuradha said, she's now going and enjoying the sunrise. The sun has been rising so many years, millions of years. Why is she now finding that energy? Because she's opening her heart to more experiences. So I'm sure when she comes back in a few weeks, she'll say she has experienced so many more sunrises. Then she'll go after seeing the night sky. There is so much in this world that we can explore in our own surroundings, despite the COVID and the social distancing challenges. So we will find that life is consumed by our passion for work, for our calling, our duty, whatever it is. That is what Bhagavad Gita says, the Hindu scripture. Do your duty, don't worry about the results. It's so easy to perceive it, but to experience it, it is not that natural for most of us. So this is what we talk about, how to find gratitude. And through fasting, if we are able to connect with our mind body, we will find flow, which we've talked about in the past. Maybe next Monday, we'll talk a little more again about what this flow phenomenon is and how to experience more deeper levels of self-inquiry. That's what this is. Simplest way is, for my request for you to is fast 14 hours, several days of the week, once a week, explore going to 24 hours, and to find the strength to give up food for that many hours, you will find it through your own gratitude. Whatever you're grateful for, it may be your work, it may be your sports, it may be your family, whatever you're grateful for. Many people are now telling me, I'm grateful for being alive in this COVID world. So that may be the reason that you find that strength in yourself to do the fasting. So this is what I promised you I'll tell you about. What do you see in this picture? Anybody unmute yourself? This is at about 5:30 in the morning, before the sun rises. This is my good friend who is biking on a bicycle, and it is dangerous to bike on this side of the road, we felt, in the US, because we can at least see the oncoming traffic. That's why we are biking on this side of the street before sunrise. And this is the beautiful sunrise that we were able to experience, which is about 10 miles from where we are. These are both my friends, and I took this picture right at sunrise. So we did a moonlight biking, and we were able to enjoy the sunrise. And this was outside our comfort zone because we don't have the sufficient bright light on our bikes, on our helmets, to warn cars that are coming at 50 miles an hour in these curvy roads to know where we are, so that we are putting ourselves at more challenge and risk. So that was something we don't want to repeat, but I still wanted to share it with you. The sunrise was amazing. But the message here is, there is so much around us that we can explore safely and experience for ourselves. And life is awaiting. Let's go and celebrate. I will open it up for a quick few minutes of questions, answers, suggestions, any last comments, and then we can wind up for today. Next Monday, again, it will be 9:30 p.m. in India, 10 a.m. in the US, when we discuss how to find freedom in our own hunger. That's what is going to be the focus on better nutrition next Monday. Anybody want? Hello, Dad. I was thinking you forgot to
Nice.
join us today. Glad you joined.
Okay, really glad. Anuradha made some comment. Maya, everyone I am now, they have become more closer now.
Thank you, sir. I'm waiting for your views. Usually,
Not
you'll
like
be
that.
adding extra point to Anand sir's session, like adding
What?
feather to the crown. So
Nothing.
I was waiting for your
I have
Oh.
come down here to only learn from you all, really happy and appreciate. When I'm listening Anand, we have been so anxious to see the sunrise, sunset, whatever thing. How will you address the people that have lost vision, that don't have sight at all? How are you going to help them?
We expect life to go at a level. Say somebody wins $1 million lottery, they suddenly become so happy. Somebody loses a leg or loses vision, like you said, we feel suddenly very sad and maybe even depressed. But if you look after 1 year, both the person who won the lottery and the one who lost his vision, their level of happiness comes back to that same level. And if you want to know what that level is, it is about 5.5 out of a scale of 1 to 10. Everybody comes back to about 5.5. Those who have about 6 or 6.5 are the ones who have family history of being happy, come from a happy family, and those who have positive psychology. So these are the people who may be pushing it a little bit further on average. But by and large, not having eyes or not having any part of our physical health does not take away as much as we would imagine it takes away from our life. Obviously, the sunrise picture I cannot share with somebody who does not have eyesight, but I sincerely believe our consciousness is able to perceive reality with or without all these tools that nature has given us, that God has given us, or our body has. Some of these components we may not continue to experience, and we should not take all these things for granted. That is the reason why I go out and enjoy that sunrise when I still have the eyesight. Once I lose my eyesight, I'll find something else that will make me this ecstatic and happy to experience life. I guess I answered it in whatever way I
My
could.
comment will be, because of listening and Anuradha and everyone, one may lose the eyesight, doesn't matter. If as long the person is having a good vision, if you're going to possess a good vision and he can visualize everything, that is the greatest strength a person can have with a positive mindset. And as long as you possess everything, you don't bother, ignore about that capacity what is given in our body. The moment if we lose that usefulness of even a small fingertip of that little finger, till then you never even bother about the existence of body, how much you are gifted to have that utility of all the organs, because we never bother to know, realize that. So I really appreciate Anand. And most important point is the gratitude is our existence, our intact body. When you're going to enjoy your things and any moment of a lifetime, never compromise happiness. Happiness is within you. Be happy. The moment you, as you have been telling, smiling, happiness, gratitude, the hormones secreted by that, endorphin, melatonin, whatever thing, it will make 40 trillion cells in the body to function enormously very well. So only thing is, I really don't know. You have been stressing very much about fasting, and many may be watching that program, eating themselves. I don't know that. I really don't know about it. And you be moderate in everything, but be happy and never compromise. If you're going on stress, fasting, they may even dissociate from you. What Jokeling, Anand is saying like that. I really don't know how we are going to take this one, but we must make people aware the benefit of everything, and whatever thing was stressing is only benefit of your own body. That is what. So very important one cannot exist, body cannot exist without the soul, soul cannot without the body. Both are supported by what we cannot see, what we cannot touch is our mind. Keep the mind all the time positive, because the most supporting thing or existence is our mind, which you cannot see. But unfortunately, people utilizing the supporting mind is a killing agent by your mindset to kill both the body and the soul. So for that, fasting helps to understand what your mind itself, how you can be happy, smiling, gratitude, everything, all the things come to a single point is never compromise happiness, never postpone happiness. I really appreciate Anand, Anuradha, and everyone. Thank you.
Excellent. Beautiful.
Thank you, sir.
You are only making me to think and say something.
Usually, I'll be waiting for your words, sir, at the end.
Really
Finishing
happy, ma. Really happy. Many new people are joining. Really happy. Thanks. Continue your journey, Anand. I appreciate.
So glad. And we'll see you next. Anybody wants to say anything else? Any last comments? I can hang around a little longer.
Sir, this is Ashwini. If anyone doesn't have any question, I just want to continue on the previous
Please.
discussion. I'll just give it a minute so that if anyone is having any question, or I can go ahead.
So Ashwini, I invite you to just hang on this conference. We can go over your dad's details a little bit further, but give
Sure.
it another 5 minutes. If everybody else has no more questions, then we'll stop the recording and then we can continue to help with your dad's specific questions.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is Willie, and I just wanted to let you know, doctor, that I am going to for sure watch the video that I did not see, the July video. I'm still just as excited as I was the day I left your office, and I'm very anxious to start this program and give it a sincere effort. My wife and I are sitting here actually taking notes.
Wonderful.
And-
I've not seen that smile leave your
so
face
we're
since
going
I
to
met you in my
probably talk
office.
about
So
some of
that
those.
is that confidence, that energy or smile, that is what is going to keep you moving forward. And once you connect and find that this program makes you healthier, then there is no real reason, there's really nothing that will stop you from getting further, deeper into this mind-body method. That will only keep getting you stronger and healthier as we move forward. So my only request to you is keep that smile, keep your gratitude connection with your mind, and drink plenty of water. We don't even need that orange juice moving forward. If you feel like having an orange, that's very healthy. The juice we try to discourage because it has a lot of
Okay.
sugar. So real food is better than anything in the liquid form. The best liquid I know of is just water. Every other liquid comes with some other challenges.
Right.
Tea and coffee, little bit is okay, no problem.
Okay, I will take your advice, and I also wanted to let you know that the 20 smiles per hour, there are like 1,000 things to be grateful for, and every time I look out my window, I'm grateful for the view that I have outside my window. I'm grateful for my wife. So finding those things to be grateful for. I don't know if you have to have individual smiles, or can you
So
be grateful for a period of time and have that add up to the 20 smiles. Does that
excellent.
make sense?
So I'm going to repeat your question because your voice is a little on the lower side. So just to make sure everybody hears it right, I'm going to repeat your question and then I'm going to try and answer it. The question we are having is, do we have to keep smiling that many times, 20 times an hour? What he feels is he's able to look out the window and he has 1,000 things he's grateful for. And on top of it, should he smile? I'll tell you the answer. This program we call Heartful Living, we've been doing it now for 5 to 10 years. The real inner core of this program is to remind people that life is beautiful. That is my only real aim. Being a cardiologist, I'm able to help heart health. So I use this program to improve the heart and physical health. But my real goal is to make people recognize the value of life. You are coming from the other end of this story. You are already so grateful for life, and there are not many people who can perceive it and who can come to a group like this and express it. So I don't need to teach you heartful living. You already live like that. You don't have to smile even once at this point. For you, whatever simple diet tips I teach will be easy for you to just imbibe and get healthier physically. But inner journey, you are very evolved. That's why you're able to say, I'm grateful for so many things. So we applaud, salute, and we will try to follow in your path.
Thank you, sir. I look forward to next week, next Monday, same time, same station. We'll be right here.
I'm so grateful that you came out here and said you're grateful for 1,000 reasons.
Oh, yes,
So that is
sir.
the ultimate message of this entire course, to remind people life is so nice, despite all the challenges that we have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll see you next Monday.
Will you
Thank
call
you.
him later? You will call him later?
Sure, you can call me in about 20 minutes on my cell. I'm happy to
Okay,
answer the
I
question.
will do that 20 minutes.
Yeah. Or if you want to just come back in this room in 15 minutes, I'll be ready for you in 15 minutes. Just come back to the same Zoom room.
Whatever's convenient for you.
This is great because we are on the Zoom room. So we'll close this session out. I'll finish Ashwini and then I'll come to you.
Okay, I call you in 20 minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you,
Nice
sir.
meeting everybody.
Bye. Any
Sir,
other
thank
last
you.
questions?
Thank you.
Shall we close the session for today?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Good to see you all. Have a wonderful week. I'll see you next Monday, same time.
All right.
Thank you, sir. We are waiting.
Bye-bye.
Bye, sir.